Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go NHL. This is personally my strong suit, being from the north. Now, are there any teams that we want to dive into first of all? Are there any hockey teams you guys really pull for out there?
I mean, like I said, I'm from North Carolina. I gotta say, Carolina Hurricanes. Used to go to their games. Love them. Would love to see them just kill it this year.
And moving down here, the Hurricanes are definitely my second favorite team. Obviously, the Red Wings are still the number one team in my heart.
Of course.
And when they play against each other, I have a Hurricanes jersey in my closet right now, but I also have like 6 Red Wings jerseys.
Dude, just like cut it in half, stitch them together. You got half and half.
I would
Frankenstein jerseys.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, so last time I went to a game, I took some friends with me, and I gave them 2 of my Red Wings jerseys that I had with me at the time, and then I wore a Hurricanes jersey because I didn't want to wear any of my other Red Wings jerseys because they got signatures on them. So but obviously we're rooting for the Red Wings, and so every time the Red Wings would score, we're going crazy. And I had this random mom like 2 rows behind me, and she's yelling at me, pure anger. She's like, "Why are you rooting for the wrong team when you win Hurricanes jersey?" And I'm like,
Shut up.
Gotta
love a Karen.
It doesn't matter.
I'm cheering for the goals.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see goals scored.
The Hurricanes,
See fights.
are a major threat. They started a couple of years back. They just regular season they grind, and I could be wrong here, so don't fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure they ended up winning their division last year. And then they had the big playoff push and we've been knocked out in the playoffs now back to back by Boston. We beat Washington when they were President's Cup trophy winners, which is the best team after the regular season.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be a Stanley Cup team that year, and the Hurricanes beat them in 7.
It was great.
And it was
great.
Awesome series.
It was awesome.
I remember that series super well. The Hurricanes looked like a great team. They did lose a couple weapons this year. They lost Dougie Hamilton, which was their star defenseman.
Yeah.
And then they lost Peter Mrazek, who I thought was really good in goal. But I think that this younger guy, who's got a name that I really can't pronounce because that's how hockey goes. They have a lot of unpronounceable names.
Bunch of letters.
Yeah. A lot of letters. A lot of V's.
Whole lot of vowels. Whole lot of vowels right next to each other.
The thing is that being in the Metropolitan Division, it's a really
tough,
hard division.
Yeah.
You have the Capitals, which you can never put to the side, even though they kind of seem like they have a lot of trouble between the pipes right now in goaltending. Then you have the Penguins. As much as I hate the Penguins with a passion,
They've always been a solid team, though.
They're getting older, and and Crosby struggles to stay healthy. I think he might be out actually already for a little bit of time. But again, they're as of right now they are sitting at the top of the division. They've only played 4 games, but
still early. But I mean,
you can never say with confidence that the Penguins aren't going to make the playoffs this year, no matter how bad they look. Malkin's back. They still have Crosby, but
consistent potential.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And same way with the Islanders. The Islanders are going to come back this year. I think they're going to be a great team. Mm-hmm. I mean, and they played really well last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They just didn't have that finish that they needed.
I thought,
they were looking good last year.
Mm-hmm. I have some good friends of mine at school who are big Islanders fans, and so I didn't really start watching them because, no offense to the Islanders, they are an extremely boring team to watch in the regular season. They always find a way to win, but it's not pretty at all. But they make the playoffs, and they had a great playoff push going. They just couldn't quite capitalize on it.
Right.
But that's because Tampa Bay is,
it's Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay's won 2 in a row, and they're going for 3. They won without Nikita Kucherov. And Nikita Kucherov is arguably one of the best players, one of the best goal scorers in the league right now. And
so that kind of says something.
And he was gone last year, and now he's back this year.
They have an arsenal of weapons.
They do.
Yeah.
Right. They have that quick scoring potential, that'll come in and it'll shock you because it'll have something where it's 6-3, and then all of a sudden, end of regulation, we're at 6-6 and we got to go to overtime. But obviously, how are you going to continue to play like that if you're always in deficits? Like, eventually it's going to take a toll mentally, where you're going to start slipping up and you're going to start losing big games because you came out slow and let teams score on you like that.
Keeping that routine, too. I mean, it gets predictable to where other teams, they're just going to thrive on that, and then...
That's the thing, too, is Andrei Vasilevsky, who is their goaltender, is one of the best goaltenders in the league. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he won the award last year for the best goaltender in the league, and so it is not common for him to be giving up that many goals. And I have a feeling that that's not something that's going to continue. He's going to step up to the plate. So the fact that the Lightning can put up that many goals in a game consistently, and then when Vasilevsky starts putting up the plate, instead of it being 7-6, it's going to be 7-1, 7-2.
Yeah.
So let's talk about maybe another team or two in each conference. So we just covered Tampa Bay in the East. Detroit Red Wings. Look. I love you guys a lot. And you have Steve Yzerman back as GM. He's back in Detroit. He was the one who built Tampa Bay to the team they are now. But he came back to Detroit. He was one of the greatest hockey players of all time, played for Detroit, and now he's working behind the scenes, and I really like what he's doing. But I think they need a little bit more time. They are showing a lot more potential this year, so I think maybe given another draft or two, they'll start looking like a team that's looking pretty good.
Just a slower rebuilding process.
Yeah. A team that is really catching. I think we won't be at the bottom of the division. I think Buffalo will be at the bottom, and a lot of people say Ottawa is supposed to be good this year, but I think Detroit will be 2 spots. I think it'll be Buffalo at the bottom, then Ottawa, and I think Detroit will be right above them. Still not in the playoffs, but progress from being literally at the
bottom of the barrel,
second to last team in the NHL over the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo, please trade Jack Eichel. He does not want to play for you anymore. He is such a good player, and y'all are holding on to him. There's literally billboards in New York that say, I think it's hashtag free Jack. Like Aaron Rodgers with Green Bay. Now, don't get me wrong, they made amends, but Aaron Rodgers wanted out.
Oh, he still wants out.
And Green Bay was like, no.
Yeah.
And then Metropolitan, we already kind of dabbled. I know you have your Ohio Columbus Blue Jackets.
God, the Blue Jackets are so bad.
Yeah, we don't have to talk
Stop.
about
We
don't even have to dabble in them. Central Division, the West in general, kind of like what we said about how the East was in the NBA. The West, I feel like, does not quite have the same caliber that the East has this year. And just looking at the Central Division, like St. Louis, they won a cup not too long ago, but they're not the team they were. Minnesota, I don't see making any progress. They're 3-0, but
just imagine being for Nashville though, and just being like, "Yeah, I'm a Predator." Like, you don't really want to like, yeah, Predators. Like,
Or that year where the Predators probably should have won the Stanley Cup, and then they pooped their pants.
They did, and that's the thing. Nashville used to be a good threat, but they don't have any more people in their core anymore. Pecorine he's not even playing anymore. They lost their goal scorers, or they're getting older, and it's just, I don't know what it has. Colorado is in my opinion, definitely going to be winning the Central Division. Colorado is
currently to 3? Yeah, I mean,
they're an
1 and 2.
They're an insane team.
Yeah,
they're still trying to figure out who they're going to have as their starting goaltender, but
it's still early on.
When your first line is Nathan McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, which are 3 of like the top goal scorers in the NHL.
Yeah.
That first line is insane. And then not to mention, I know that their core and their second and third line is also really good too. And then they have their rookie defenseman, their last year rookie defenseman, who was rookie of the year and had insane, like scored more goals than like the top goal scorers in like half the NHL.
Yeah.
Like he was like,
that's insane.
They're going to be a really good team for sure. Arizona, I can't tell. Now, Chicago, I think, is going to be the team to look out for because they picked up Marc-Andre Fleury from Vegas, who is one of the most dynamic goalies that we've ever seen in the NHL, because you never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's like Steph Curry, how he can shoot from just about any position. He can make a save from just about any position.
That's huge. That's a
huge
huge
He's not a butterfly
addition.
goalie. He's not a stand-up goalie. He's
he can do
dynamic. Yeah,
he's a really dynamic goalie, and I like him. I didn't like him when he played for the Penguins and took a cup away from Detroit, but when he left Vegas, as a former goaltender in hockey, I have a lot of respect for him.
Understandable.
And then diving into the last group, the Pacific Division,
we got the Oilers on this.
I don't know. You have Connor McDavid, but it just seems like with the Oilers, it doesn't matter how good of a team they have on paper, they just can't quite, even if they do make the playoffs, they can't put it together, and they can't seem to really make that push. It's almost like the Nets. Like they have all of the names.
They have the pieces, but they can't make them into one.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't understand a puzzle.
Vegas Golden Knights are supposed to be like, if there's a team that can beat Tampa Bay in the finals, it's Vegas. They ever since they had their expansion draft and they made it to the finals that year, they haven't really lost anybody. You know, I mean, they lost Fleury this year, but I think with Mark Stone and Riley Smith and all these guys that they have here.
But when you have the chemistry and you have the pieces for your arsenal and you're still able to keep the majority of them, if not almost all of them together, that's a huge win for them in itself because now they have the potential to only get better.
Yeah.
I think what's going to hurt the Knights is the fact that they've been touted for so long where coming from people who have been drafted in an expansion draft, you're just given up by your team. Mm-hmm. So you come in with that chip on their shoulder, which is why it was so impressive that they went to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then last year they
might have been 3 or 4 years ago now, but
whenever they came.
Yeah.
So they had that chip on the shoulder, and then the next year they came out and they had a real strong Stanley Cup playoff run. They didn't quite make it to the Stanley Cup, but they've been playing well for a number of years, kind of with that idea of, well, we were just kind of discarded, given up, put into the expansion draft, where like our teams, didn't see value on us, so they just let us go. Where I feel like eventually that kind of mindset wears off, where they might start to get a little complacent, and I wouldn't be surprised, maybe not this year, but like next year, 2 years in advance, if the Vegas Golden Knights just have a really, really down season.
I agree.
Yeah. It just seems like, even though they made it to the finals that first year, but I don't think they've missed the playoffs since then. Like, they've made the playoffs every year they've been around. One more team, Pacific Division, the new boys, the Seattle Kraken. I guarantee by like the end of November, I will make sure we have a Seattle jersey on the wall.
On the wall? No, I'm going to be wearing it.
Dude, I would buy one.
Their jerseys are
jersey.
sick,
Yeah.
and their team does not look that bad. Their team doesn't look terrible.
I think at least give it a couple more years. Just get.
I don't think they quite have that
No,
Vegas
not
Golden
yet.
Knights magic.
So great jerseys though. Great jerseys.
So we don't think that they're playoff contention this year. I think a lot of people are scared just because we said the same thing about Vegas.
Yeah.
Their first year and they made it to the finals.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think they're trying not to just set them aside too quickly. I watched them play their inaugural game. They played against Vegas in Vegas. Not to mention, Vegas is such a hard arena to play in. T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, like, so I'll give them
the
that.
fan base.
And they put on a good show, and so it'll be. I'm interested to see what they do. Actually, here we'll put in our division winners real quick. So we'll go back to the divisions. I guess I'll kick it off and then we'll go over.
Sounds good.
Atlantic. So starting the East, Atlantic Division. I can't. As much as I would want to say Detroit, I still think they'll be bottom 3. I think Florida's supposed to be a really good team this year, but I haven't seen enough of them. They have Sergei Bobrovsky, who's the highest paid goaltender in the league right now, and he played amazing when he was in Columbus because he would play against Detroit a lot. And I remember anytime seeing Bobrovsky in person, he looked like he was on a whole other level. And so, but it just seems like he doesn't quite have his ducks in a row in Florida just yet. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go Tampa Bay probably. Metropolitan, I gotta go Carolina. I think that they're gonna be a great team again this year.
Yeah.
Their fan base, they're still ranked the hardest fan base to play against, or at least the number 1 fan base in the NHL as of right now. Western Conference, I'm gonna go Colorado Avalanche, and Pacific Division, I'm gonna go Vegas Golden Knights. For that one.
For the Atlantic, honestly, I'm going to go with kind of a mid-table team. I think the Maple Leafs are going to have a couple of runs. They seem like a decent team where they're going to string together, streaks of 3-4 game wins, where I think they're going to kind of slowly make their way up the table, and they're going to kind of take it by surprise at the end of the year. I think they're going to have like a 4-game win streak to end the year, and they're going to take over the top spot, and everyone's going to be kind of surprised by them. For the Metropolitan, I've got the Capitals. I mean, it's Ovi. Washington's going to come out. They're going to have another really good year, which is just, at this point, standard. They're kind of like the golden standard that when you think of the NHL, a team that will consistently win, and Ovechkin is just unstoppable.
Yeah.
He'll go down as the second best hockey player of all time. Or at least second best goal scorer. I'll go with that.
How about the West?
The West. Out of the Central, this one's going to be interesting. I think it might be an up year for the Blackhawks this year. I know they've started off 0-4, not ideal, or Yeah, they're 0-4. I don't know. It's been a while since we've seen the Blackhawks be kind of good, kind of the team that we expect them to be. I think they've got a little bit of that underdog mentality now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and win the Central. And for the Pacific, I got to go with the Kraken. I'm going to pick the Kraken just because I love the jerseys.
Man. Oh yeah.
I think they might be able to tap into a little bit of the magic the Golden Knights had. Maybe not all of it, but I think they've got a little bit of that magic, and I think they can make a push for it.
I like it.
I dig it. Okay, for the East Conference Atlantic, I'm going to have to agree with Brian over here, Tampa Bay Lightning. I can see the Maple Leafs as well, but I'm just going to have to stick with the Lightning on that one. Metropolitan Hurricanes, I can't even say anything. I have to go with Hurricanes, man.
I like it.
I got to go with Hurricanes. Can't change it. Central, it would be nice to see the Colorado Avalanche. Now, when we're dealing with the Pacific, I got to go with Mike on this one. I'd love to see the Kraken. I just got to root for him. I'd love to see that happen. That'd be huge.
So let's just take a look. So the Kraken right now, the Kraken have a 72% chance of making the playoffs.
That sounds pretty good.
That's some
pretty
good
dandy.
numbers. And in the division, they have a 9% chance of winning the division and a 0.24% chance of winning the Cup this year.
Let's not dwell on that. Okay.
So all right. So now we'll go in. So we'll take a look at our winner of the East, winner of the West in the finals, and who we got on top.
Okay.
Now, this is why I did say something about Florida. Numbers wise, having all the firepower they have with Barkov and Bobrovsky, and they have so many lethal weapons. Playoffs, they got them at a 99.5% chance, which I am fully with. I'm fully with them making the playoffs. There's not a doubt in my mind that they should make the playoffs this year. Division 54%, and the next one would probably be Tampa Bay, who's in that Atlantic Division with them at 41. So it's not wrong to take Tampa Bay over them. But the regular season and playoffs, especially in hockey, I can't really speak too much for basketball, but I just feel like in the NHL, playoff hockey it's
different field, different environment.
Like their memories get erased from everything in the regular season.
Yeah.
It's a whole different game to watch.
It's like a level up kind of thing.
It's
right.
Yeah.
When every game matters, it really heightens people's senses. It seems.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, they on X Games, man. But Florida, 19% chance of winning the Stanley Cup this year. Carolina, 28%. That is the highest percent out of any team here. There's Carolina, 28.08% chance of winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Baby.
Over Tampa Bay at 22%. So as a fan, I really want to see Carolina make it to the finals this year. And I think that they really could. It just seems like as long as they don't play against Boston in the playoffs, they'll be fine. I think they could beat Tampa Bay in 7 games for sure. I'm gonna go Carolina in the East, and in the West, I'm gonna go Vegas. I think Carolina wins the Cup this year.
I'd love to see it.
All right, as someone who isn't all that into hockey, doesn't know all that much, just from Tampa Bay, the games I've seen them play, I got to take them out of the East. They look good, and they've looked good for the past 2 years. To quote the ESPN commercial with hockey being on ESPN, I think Lightning's going to strike thrice. I think they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup one more time. I think they have that really high ceiling that they're going to reach. I think it'll be interesting, but I do think Tampa Bay will come out of the East, and I think the Blackhawks are going to come out of the West.
The Blackhawks. Let's look at their stats real quick.
Right, because I picked them to win the division. I think they're going to have another good year.
They got Chicago right now at a 94% chance of making the playoffs, which is definitely reasonable. I don't see them not making the playoffs, especially since the Western Conference just doesn't quite to be as powerful this year. Winning the division, they got them at 7%. But what I like, Stanley Cup percentage chance is a 1.9%.
I dig it. For East, y'all already know.
You gotta do it.
Hurricanes. I gotta go with them. I would absolutely love to see them just win the Stanley Cup, just kill it. That would be just a miracle maker right there. West, like you said, West compared to the East, I just feel like it's not as strong, personally. West, Mike, I may have to agree with you. I think the Blackhawks, I would like to see it.
I think it'd be fun, yeah.
It would be fun. It'd be a good little matchup.
And then you got Carolina on top.
Oh,
Obviously.
of course. Carolina on top, yeah.
There you have it. That's it.
That is the
NHL
hockey.
rankings are in, locked in place.
Thanks again, guys, for watching the No Flex Club on the 384 show.
If you want all the content all at once, check out the podcast, the No Flex Club, and click right here.
I hope you guys enjoy watching this video provided right here, and hope you guys like the stuff.